Oh, let me see. Are you back?
I don't know what happened.
I did 2 minutes and 30 seconds of
I could hear you.
oh,
And I was like, don't know what's going on, but
that's
I'm
all
here.
right. Oh, that was fun.
Ah,
Hey,
technology in 2020, I am still not across it.
well, you also live on an island.
I do. I will blame the great internet connection, Wi-Fi,
You're in
whatever it's
Sydney,
called,
Australia.
bandwidth that we have here. Yeah,
You're
in
in
Sydney,
Australia.
Australia. Can't you tell by my accent?
I could, but other people may go, where's she from?
Who is this
Yeah.
person?
Well, let me tell everybody your name. Are you ready for this?
Go. Please get it right the first time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the program Renee Straumietis.
Yes. 10 points, Clint.
10 points. Yeah, here's how bad it was. She was telling me she was treating me like a second grader. She was like, write it down. Straw. Write it down like it sounds. Straw. Might. Nope. Might. Us. And I'm like, okay. Now you're talking to me like a dumb American.
No,
And that's
never,
fine.
never. It's just a
That's
mouthful
true.
to get out.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. At the moment, there's a few weird things happening over here, but we're on alert, I guess you could probably say, with COVID and that sort of thing. But I'm sure we'll get into it at some point.
Well, you got a spike going on, right? So
We've
real
got a
quick,
spike.
I met you through a mutual friend, Chassie Snowden, a while back, and we've had several broadcasts where we've talked about life. So if anybody's wondering, well, how do y'all know each other? That's how we met. And you're in the CrossFit athletic competition world, and you're interesting. And so I like having interesting people on. And now we can jump off. Now that people know why you're here and what we're going to talk about, you do have a COVID spike going on.
I have a COVID spike. So I think it happened yesterday. I was actually supposed to go visit one of my old coaches. I haven't seen him in a while, and he lives over on the northern beaches. And there's been a bit of a mishap or a blip on the radar over there. So it's gone up. A mishap. Someone, I think, is the typical, I think someone was positive, went out and did their own thing, maybe didn't get tested or something, and now there's like 17 cases. So
was it an American that was visiting? Is it our fault?
Quite possibly. No, I doubt it. But I think they said before it was an overseas strain. So
really?
I don't know. I haven't honestly gone into it. I haven't looked at much of the news lately because I'm just a little bit over it. But we're still trying to, even though we don't watch it, we're still being very careful of what we do with, cleaning things, still washing your hands, all that sort of stuff, and the social distancing. But it's still just popping up every now and again.
Yeah, I read an article yesterday that in I think it was England, I can't remember, UK discovered a different strand that is in 1,000 people. They found a strand that it's already mutated, and then now they said if that keeps going, they're having to test that new strand to see if the vaccine will work on the new strand. And I thought, this is the world we're in now.
Yeah. It seems to be a little bit never ending. And I know that even like the vaccine arguments over it, like who's going to take it, who won't take it, are we going to be forced to have it?
Are you going to take it if you voluntarily?
I don't know. Like it's one of those things. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I think it's, been very important in keeping our world going for many, many years and stopping a lot of diseases. But I guess it's just the quickness that this has all happened and what are the kind of trials behind it. I saw a funny meme the other day, I think, that popped up. There was an older lady, maybe kind of like a grandma, that she was getting injected with something, and then next thing it's like the grandma's on the roof crawling around
like a zombie.
Yeah, it's like 3 days later, this is what happens. So I think I'm just worried about if there would be any side effects after that we don't know.
Well, the bad thing, or not the bad thing, but the thing about vaccines is there's the immediate side effects, and then there are the side effects that you really can't measure until you're months, a year into, the aftermath. You don't really know. So yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I don't want a third arm. I don't want to get something worse than that. If it's crawling around on the roof, though, on the ceiling, that'd be pretty cool.
Could be kind of like X-Men style a little.
Yeah.
If we come back with a superpower, I'll be all for it. But
Spider-Man? Are you kidding me? I'm all in. So you say you're not watching the news a lot. It's funny. I've talked to a bunch of people, and they've kind of shied away from the news for that reason, because it seems, and I understand it, we're in a pandemic, but it's COVID. everywhere 24/7. And on top of that, and I had one of, I think, Zeus, I had her on, and it's almost nowhere matter where you live. Sometimes America thinks that I think everybody's a little egocentric. We all think everything's around us.
Yeah.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I think in America, we feel like it's only being politicized in America. And what I don't think people understand is there's a lot of places around the world where political parties of that country are politicizing it. So I'm tired of not only the COVID, I'm tired of the politics of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we're getting that too, because I guess being a smaller country, but we've got the borders. So I guess, if we compared us to you, it would be like shutting down every single border of all of your different states. So we can't travel, but that's just been opened. But I guess there's the politics of just before it opened, like, why can't we travel? We've been without reports for a while and all that sort of thing. So it's just, I don't know.
Well, and then you got one party people blaming each other. Well, everybody's arguing different scientific points or throwing out. And Facebook's great for that. I'll throw out a headline. I'll throw out a headline. You just don't believe in science if you don't agree with me. No, there's other science over here. What about that? No, that's evil science.
Well, I mean, it's even kind of like the drama that you guys had with your election, right?
What are you talking
about? You've got one side.
What?
Have you got a president yet? I don't know. I think you do.
Yeah, kinda, sorta.
But that whole thing, like, who do you believe? There's, reports saying that these votes weren't counted, and then these things happened, and this sort of fraud, and you're like, I don't know. It just gets too much.
Here's the crazy thing about life right now. All of those, was there fraud? Do people trust the elections? No or yes? All the bad and the good, the answer to all of it is yes. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of everything, good, bad, evil, pure. It's just everything's mixed in there, and everybody just wants to pull their little part out and go, see? And I'm like, no, it's not as, I don't know. I get sick of it.
That's not the whole picture, but we'll never know.
Oh, we'll know. We'll know. We'll know what the propaganda machine wants to tell us, what Big Brother wants us all to know. They're watching us on this machine right now, and they're going to feed us whatever we're talking about. Like, I were to say Nike shoes when I get off
we
here.
had all of the ads come up on the phone.
Nike shoes. Hey, real quick, and I know you might have answered this. I think you did answer it, but tell me about the ink you got. What is that? Just so people know.
Oh, I think it's the latest. Oh no, I had two. I got this when I was in Europe. Just part of the Japanese stuff that goes on the back.
Okay.
So that's
what's the other one? You were looking at your right arm. What was that one?
Oh, that's so Zeus actually has the other one of this. So that's because we're both mad Foo Fighters fans.
You're Foo Fighters? You're what?
Symbol,
Foo Fighters?
Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them is Zeus and me, because we saw them over in Denmark. Denmark when we were able to travel.
I just had her on, and she was talking about traveling for bands, and she said Foo Fighters. Yeah. And I didn't know y'all had the tattoos, but she was like, I would travel. She would travel the world to see different bands. And see, I would go maybe next door for the band I love. I'm old. I'm not traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. Foo Fighters for us are the one that we'd like. I mean, we literally went to Denmark to go see them. So that was good.
Have you been able to get to your gym, or has it been closed down too?
No, we've been open since, it's been a little bit now. I honestly can't remember, but we got shut down. I think it was around March, and then we reopened. When would it have been? Like maybe July?
Oh, so y'all been open a while.
Or August? I'd have to double check, but we've been open for a little while. We did have restrictions to start, like we had to have, all the spacing around. We didn't have to wear masks or anything, but every class is cleaning all the time, every single piece of equipment. There was like minimal sharing, if any. And then as the cases kind of dropped off, the restrictions loosened a little bit more. So, from the other week, we've had the most amount of people that you're allowed in the gym. I think it's kind of capped at about 30, depending on the space, obviously. I guess the social distancing got bigger, so that allowed us to have more people in the gym. But we're still on the cleaning and everything. So,
and you're not too worried about it. I mean, you're just moving on with life. Are you being,
I mean, like, we've still got all the things where, like, if we go to a cafe and we sit down, or if you go out for dinner, we've still got to scan in. We've got those little QR codes at record you going in there. So if they do need to contact trace, they can get you.
I had whoa, slow down there, big brother. You easy there.
So you know that little code that
the
looks
little
really
robot that tells us that they plant a chip in our brain and it tells what?
Oh, so it's supposedly a QR code. It's this little like barcode thing that you get your phone and you hold it over like you're taking a photo.
Yeah.
And then that is linked to an app that all these restaurants have. It's different ones, I'm assuming. But then you can just enter in all of your details instead of standing at the cafe or what have you, and you're writing down everything and sharing the pen, which is still weird. And then that just records your attendance at that vicinity. So if there's a case that pops up, then they can go into that and go, all these people that were here on the 18th of December at this time, it's happening.
Yeah, and later on when the pandemic's not around, if you're eating too much butter and they don't want to pay for your insurance and they're watching your diet like Big Brother will, they'll come back to you and go, hey, we noticed you visited and got 4 Slim Jims at the gas station and are eating donuts. Because we can track it on this super code. I'm out on tracking.
Where we are at all times now too.
I've read an article about the possible implanting of chips, where they can track, has on the chip, it'll have your health data, all these, and they can track. And would you ever get a chip where they can track you and know all your health stuff?
I mean, we had an app here. It's still there. So they developed a COVID app that they were recommending everybody to download. So it stays open in your phone. And maybe kind of tracks you everywhere you go. And people were very 50-50 on whether to do that. I know some people kept it, some people downloaded it and deleted it not too long after. So I don't know if I want people knowing where I am all the time. Like, surely we've got to have some stuff that's kind of private to ourselves.
I don't want, especially after all the articles now where you've got people, they can just turn your phone on. I mean, your phone can be off. If you ever want to go down that rabbit hole, I've got articles I'll send you, but they can actually just remotely turn your phone on. It'll start recording. And I'm like, I don't need anything else to tell me that I'm buying stuff that's bad for me, to tell me where I'm going. Hey, Clint, we noticed you got up 12 times last night to pee. Your phone recorded that. I'm like, no, I don't need things. I don't need things in my life. Yeah. And by the way, how sad is my life when I default to how many times I pee?
Well, there's not, what do you do? There's not much going on in the world right now. So
I've never had a guess. You just basically want to go, dude, you're old and have nothing to do. I don't know what to tell you. Tough shit. Just way to go. So you're still in the gym. Are you working out just to maintain? What is your current goal? Because I know you're a very competitive person.
Yeah, so we actually had a little in-house comp the other week, which was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people attend that. I think within the gym there would have had to have been 30 or 40 teams, I think, of pairs within just the gym. So that was a bunch of fun to just be with friends and train and enjoy being fit and doing fast things. But there's a few of us have just entered a comp. I think it's in the start of February. So that will be like the first, we get to go somewhere kind of local, fingers crossed if nothing shuts down now, and go and compete in our first comp in a little bit. So that'll be good.
All right. Well, explain to me and to the people that are watching, what is a comp? What kind of, is it a cross? Yeah. Is it a CrossFit?
Yeah, CrossFit comp. Yeah.
And will it be, a lot of people don't know about that much about CrossFit. How do they categorize you? Is it by age? Is it by experience? Is it by all of that?
So it's by ability. So what they'll do, I think it's a paired comp for this one. So you can have competitions that are either individual, pairs, teams of 4. Then it'll be gender specific. So you can either have male, male, female, female, or mixed. And then they'll do on ability. So the RX is the top division. Generally, they'll put out some movements with some weight. So if you can't, just an easy one, if you couldn't back squat, say 80 kilos, everyone knows what a back squat is. If that 80 kilos wasn't achievable, you only can do 40, then you would go into the scaled division. So it's just ranked on ability. If you don't have muscle ups, and there's muscle ups in the RX division, then you'd probably go into the scaled division. So
do muscle ups do they hurt your shoulders?
Yeah, well, they don't hurt some people. They hurt me a little just because I've got previous surgery on the right one. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, if you do, I guess the thing is if you do everything correctly with good form and you've previously worked on the strength to get you to that movement, then you should be okay. Like, things do happen, but I guess it would be like, me saying, do you get hurt when you get tackled in rugby? Like, yeah, it can hurt if I decided to go and try and get tackled by you with no training behind me.
Yeah, but here's the
Stuff will
problem.
happen.
But here's the problem, and you know what I'm about to say. There's this thing that competitors have called ego.
No, I've never heard of that before.
I know. Yeah, and I've never heard of an crazy election here in America. So, I mean, I've seen it before. One of the worst. I mean, I think one of the things that started on my issues I have with bench press, as I was probably 22 or 23, and I was in the gym, and I was not going for a max. I was just going for what I could get for 3 times. And I got it 3 times, but the guy before me, one of my buddies, had got it 4 times.
So you had to give it a go. And
I weighed 30 pounds less than him. So I was like, well, if I get it as much as Tubbo over here, my buddy.
Yeah.
And when I did, I arched my shoulders and my back. I arched trying to push, and I pinched a nerve. And I've at least once a year since then, I guarantee you I'm going to have a problem in that spot for about 5 or 6 days if I sneeze wrong. And I know it's from my ego when I was 22 or 23 thinking 1 more rep.
Yeah. Everyone does it though, right? But I guess the hard thing, I guess, with CrossFit, there are those movements that are more technical, like a muscle up on the rings. Generally, you'd only see gymnasts do it. So I guess the problem that comes in there is that you'll get people, often more males, that will be able to, like, they're super strong already. They can do strict pull-ups and all that sort of thing. You walk in, you see someone else do it, and you're like, wow, that'd be really cool. I want to give it a go. And, it's not rocket science to know that rings can go everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They go everywhere, literally. So if someone doesn't know how to stabilize in the bottom of a dip or anything like that, well, then those rings are going to go everywhere and you will probably go through.
Even if you hold the rings, because I when I was in college, we didn't have CrossFit back then. That was a long time ago. But there was gymnasts, buddies of mine did stuff. Like wrestlers did all kinds of crazy workouts. But I would challenge somebody, even if you can't pull yourself up, if rings are just 3 feet off the ground, go grab the rings, get your arms tight, and take your feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And watch your body act like it's having a seizure.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's horrendously hard. That's why it's one of the hardest things to do, I guess, in CrossFit. And that's why you've got to build yourself up to do it. But
can you do it?
I can. They're not great. And I also try and I manage them with my shoulder because me personally, I don't have a lot of mobility. Which way do I go? That way. Yeah. Internal rotation for me is not great.
And I have this arm, mine is up. So I can't go past that.
Yeah, right.
No, seriously, I can't go. That's me trying right there.
That's going like that way.
Going backwards, yeah.
So I can't go this way on the other arm.
Yeah.
So if I'm here in that position, it's just not fun in the joint.
Oh, I can do this all day, but so that's one of the reasons I quit squatting probably years ago, 5, 6 years ago, when I really hurt it, because getting my arm behind the bar.
Oh, right.
So I can put the hand there and then go under the bar, but I have if something were to happen, I have zero strength at that position. I can't hold the weight there. If it starts to slip, just move because you're not spotting me. It's gonna be crap.
Yeah.
And when you're young though, you kind of take those joints for granted.
Oh yes. If we could only go back, I mean, like I used to do gymnastics when I was little. And the one thing I wish is that when you used to throw yourself around and you could do the splits every single way, that if you knew back then to keep stretching every single day for the rest of your life, you would be so much more mobile.
Do you stretch? Because I'm started back into stretching a few months ago, and I'm telling you, here's what's really weird about stretching at my age. If I stretch 3 or 4 days in a row, I start feeling it's coming back, the pain, because I can't sleep some night because of my hips and my knees because of just the pain, and I refuse to stop moving. But if I stop stretching for one day, I literally go back to feeling like a knot. I wish I had done yoga one day a week for life. Just one day would have probably helped a ton.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I think we all wish that we could do. Well, not that we could do, that we should do, but we just don't prioritize it. Like, I'm terrible at it. We'll stretch and, maybe cool down after the session. Definitely stretch before, but I don't do it.
But you know it, right? You know to do it,
Yeah.
and you know you're going to get older. Why don't you start doing it now?
Yeah, it's on the list, the to-do list.
You just answered, yeah. And like, that was funny. Like, you answered, yeah, like that was the answer and just moved on. Yeah. So anyway.
The to-do list of like down here compared to being up where the top of it should be. So
that's funny though. So why don't
2021 goals.
What'd you say?
2021 goals.
So do you do New Year's resolutions?
I don't normally, because I feel like the majority of times you do them, you don't end up keeping them. So I don't tend to make a big deal about them. I might set some goals, like, we've got the comp coming up in February. Maybe some things that I want to achieve throughout the year, but I don't do the whole, like, as of January 1, I am never going to eat chocolate again, or I am going to make sure that this is all happening, because I don't know. I think everything changes through the year. I mean, imagine making New Year's resolutions last year and then going through what happened this year.
Yeah.
So I think I just set some goals, but I'm not a big thing on like, I will quit drinking for the rest of the year, that sort of stuff. I'm not.
Do you help your clients with, I know you still do coaching. Do you help your clients set those kind of goals, or do you tell them, let's don't make them New Year's resolutions. We already have goals in place that are different.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think at the start of December, I asked them all, the ones that wanted to contribute to it and needed to kind of stay on track with the holidays and everything. We did some December goals, but more basic kind of habits, like, still people are working from home. How many steps are you doing? How can we increase that so you're not sitting down all day? More so those little things that they can build on each week. First week of December, let's kind of add more water this week.
Right.
And let's keep in check. Like, if we can keep that one for the first week, next week, let's see if we can train 2 to 3 times a week. And it's all just depending on who they are. Obviously, not everybody's, in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. There's clients that have, a couple kids and their husbands at work, and they're trying to study full time. And it's like, how many steps did you do? Oh, I've been stuck on the computer doing my assignments all day. I've literally walked 2,000 steps. And it's like, okay, set a timer on your phone for every hour. Just get up, walk around the apartment, get in 1,000 steps, sit back down, get to work. So just
that's
those
a good idea.
Yeah. Because I think, like, your brain needs a break as well from staring at the computer for so long.
Especially in this world we lived in this year, getting outside a little bit too helps. It's getting cold here though. Where I live, it's freezing cold.
And it'll be interesting for you guys too, because like the whole vitamin D has something to do with corona.
I take an extra vitamin, and I take 2 extra vitamin D tablets and extra zinc every morning.
Yeah.
Just to help my body, because you don't get it naturally when it gets cold because the sunshine. Yeah. So
because we've had the opposite for you, because we had corona came around when we were through our winter. I mean, we don't really have a winter compared to some places. It doesn't really snow here or anything, but we're now on the back end of that going into our summer. So yeah, I was definitely supplementing with vitamin D, but then I've cut that out and just trying to get outside a little bit more.
Well, and my kids, we got some Irish blood in us, so I think we are a little more prone to make vitamin D than darker skinned people. So when we get outside, it benefits us a lot. We're pretty quickly, but I still supplement. Hey, I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
I want to play a game, and it's called "What's Up with This Picture." Okay.
This is the one you warned me about before.
Yeah. I've got all kinds of pictures that looks like a past relationships, and I just want to know how they went. And look at that. Look, you got real quiet real quick.
Deep rabbit hole.
Different kind of podcast.
Yeah, different kind of podcast.
All right. And you're on your computer or you're on your phone?
Computer.
Okay, good. So that means you should be able to see this. So what's that?
Oh, so I bake. Wow. I'm not a baker of any sort, because like I obviously do nutrition coaching, but the thing I need to work on, I do not have willpower, and I don't want to work on it really when it comes to sweets and all that sort of thing. Even if it's sweets or food, I love food. I don't often bake because what happens is I bake and I eat them all. So I came up with a recipe. They're these oat biscuits. There's banana, craisins, dark choc chip in there.
Craisins.
Craisins. So a dried cranberry.
Oh, okay.
And I guess because it's dried, it looks like a raisin.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah. So I made them the other day. They lasted maybe 2 days. There was 12 of them. So that was evidence of cookies that I baked.
Well, that's good though. Now you know there's something healthy you can bake that will hit that craving for you.
Yes.
That's good.
So they were great afternoon snacks.
All right, here we go. Next picture. Well, there we go. Next picture.
Oh, it's my little Richie.
Oh, I've never heard.
He's my cat. His name is Richie McClaw, named after, do you know the very famous rugby union player, Clint?
Oh, I do not.
So he's named after...
No.
No? He's named after Richie McCaw from the All Blacks.
Well, there's another slide coming up in a minute. We'll talk a little bit about that. Now but so the All Blacks are New Zealand.
Yes.
And Australia has a rugby team.
They do, called the Wallabies.
Yeah. Are you a bigger fan of the Wallabies or the All Blacks?
The All Blacks.
Okay. I didn't know if you were a traitor to your country or not. That's all I was
we'll see. So like my whole family's New Zealand. I'm actually about to get my New Zealand passport back again. So I'm half. Both my mum and dad are from there, and then mum's like one of 7, so there's lots and lots and lots of family. But it all started, me and dad went to one of the Bledisloe Cup matches, and he all of a sudden decided to support the Wallabies. So I was like, well, someone in the family has to support the All Blacks. And this was many moons ago. So since then, I've been the avid All Blacks supporter for the family. And he just jumped ship, I think, depending on the coach and who's winning on the day. So
he's a bandwagon kind of
guy.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha. All right, here we go.
Oh, the donuts.
The donuts.
I
got to be honest, those are some massive donuts.
They are huge. And it's so funny because the lady that works there, when I first started going there, Zeus actually came with me. And we said, we will see you every Saturday, because we used to train over on the northern beaches, and then we'd come home via the donut shop. And they thought that we were kidding, but literally every single Saturday after training, we would go by these guys. If you ever get here, I will take you. They're donut papi. And she always used to say, is it okay if I give you the biggest donut? And I was like, oh, sure, I will take it.
If I have to. I mean,
Yeah, if I have to, I will have the biggest one. But they are like the best donuts in the world that I've ever had, ever.
That'll inspire you while you're at the gym to keep pushing a little more so you can justify getting those donuts afterwards.
Yes, that's the only reason why I train, is just to be able to eat donuts.
What in the hell's up with this picture? What are you doing there?
Oh, I'm trying to see life better upside down. That was actually the last competition that I competed in. So that would have been last December. And they were handstand push-ups, looking like a frog.
Does that hurt your shoulder?
No, actually it doesn't, which is kind of weird. So yeah, no, I don't have any pain doing those. But yeah, they're handstand push-ups. Oh my God. That's so long ago. So you would maybe have heard of it. Did you remember the LFL?
Yeah.
The Lingerie Football League. So I tried out for that, and I was training to be the quarterback for the team that we had over here. Did you do good? That was from the trial.
Did you like it?
I did enjoy it a lot. I met a lot of good friends out of there as well. It's very different. I never realized how technical American football is, because you kind of watch it on the screen and you're like, oh, there's all just these people running everywhere. And then you learn that they actually run routes of going, you have to take 7 steps this way and then a hard left this way for 4 steps. and you just run, and when you look up, the ball will be there.
It's supposed to be there. If not,
Yes,
you get killed or something like that.
It was mind-boggling to go, wow, this is really, really, really technical.
Yeah. And rugby's very technical about some things, but there's a part of rugby that is literally not technical. It is a little bit of chaos, and then it's gathering yourself in the chaos, and then out of that chaos comes organization almost every play. It's a bunch of, it looks like just a big pile of people beating the crap out of each other. And then all of a sudden there's these plays that come out of it, which that's why I love rugby. Speaking of,
yes,
there you go. That's the All Blacks.
That's the All Blacks, Silver Fern.
Favorite player? So the Richie, is that your favorite player off the All Blacks of all time?
Yeah, but he's retired now. So, but I mean, God, they've got so many good players, but I still love some of the older ones. Like, he's also passed away, but Jonah Lomu, like. So
I got written down. Wow. That was my, because he played wing.
Yeah.
And wing is usually a smaller, fast person. He was a giant human that was super fast and would just crush people or outrun you.
Yeah. So he was phenomenal. Like, as an athlete, I mean, I think he used to run 100 meters as fast as any sprinter kind of thing. And he was a big dude, just solid muscle.
They tried to get him to come to the NFL, and they tried to, they couldn't pay him enough. He's like, I make too much money being a world athlete.
Yeah, far out.
All right. What's this right here? Who's this?
Oh, that's my baseball team. So that's my club baseball team, the Greenway Giants. So I don't know when this one was. We made, it was sad, the final last year. So the grand final should have been played early this year. The first attempt at it got washed out. So we went to come back and play the next week, and then Corona hit. So we never actually got to play the grand final. And then because they just ended up handing it to us because we were the minor premiers. So, but this is from a few years ago. Like, this group of girls, I have never played in a team that gets along so well. There's no drama. Everyone's super supportive. Our coach is one of the girls' dads who's just phenomenal. They've been going, there's a group of them that have been playing for many years. I'm kind of on the back end of my baseball. Like, I just came back.
What position did you play? What position
did shortstop. So, yeah, but these girls, they're phenomenal. They're back in the season this year, but I'm sitting out this season just because of everything that's gone on in the world. Thought I'd just have another little break. But, yeah, that's my old club team.
What's that? Why is that on your face?
Huh? I painted that.
Did you really?
I did. So I went through, I do lots of things. I went and took some art classes. This would be, heaps of years ago. Took some art classes and learned how to paint.
Wow.
So I think there's another end product of that, and there's some roses underneath it. But I also have a thing for skulls, so that's why I painted 3 of them. So, yeah.
I like it. I didn't know you painted. I just saw the picture. I'm like, I got to ask why there's a skull picture on her Facebook page.
That was my painting days.
All right, so I'm trying to figure out. Let's do this one next because I think I know the answer.
Oh, when people could gather in large crowds. So that used to be a very amazing concert that used to, like, a big live gig here over in Sydney, or in Australia, actually. It was called the Big Day Out. It used to happen on Australia Day every year, where they'd get huge bands out. So, like, Metallica's played there, Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers. So they've got that standard. That used to come around every year, and it hasn't been around for many years, unfortunately. My favorite concert, that was.
So let's go with, I don't know. I'll go with this one.
So another sport I did, and this was, look how young I was. So
it looks like karate.
So that was kickboxing.
Kickbox, okay.
Yeah, so I think that was during a warm-up. There was a show, I can't remember what it was called. He's American. He's a kickboxer, coach, Master Toddy. He's from Las Vegas, I think, or is in Las Vegas. Gina Carano was actually on one of the first ones. You would have known, you would have heard of Gina. It was like a reality show for kickboxing. They get these girls into this house. You'd fight in a ring, probably outside as well. Who knows? But they had auditions for that over here, so I went and auditioned for that. So that's what that.
You got to fight people.
We just did sparring on the day, but yeah, if you got picked for it, but I don't know whether it did go ahead. But you had to go over to Thailand and live there for however long the.
You would have done it though, wouldn't you? You would have gone to Thailand.
Yeah, I would have done it. I was young.
Have you thought of getting into Thai boxing or doing any more like that, or not really?
Nah, not since the last time I tried. And then plus two, because my coach, the one that I was going to go visit today, he's over on the Northern Beaches. So.
Well, here's the last one. I have no idea what this is.
Oh, that's Daft Punk.
What
you have to get onto Spotify later and check them out.
I don't have to. I don't have to do that.
It's an electronic dance group, I guess you could call them. They're super famous. You should listen to them.
What's the name of them?
Daft Punk. So they always wear those helmets. I think they did some music for Tron, the movie, as well. So they're very, very famous. They've been around a very long time.
So is this picture a photo album, or did you meet them, or?
It's just probably a picture that I found off the internet, because I did go see them at a concert over here. They came out many, many years ago as well. But yeah,
So I've learned something. I've learned that band. I've learned how to say your name correctly. And I've learned that Americans come across like we just don't have our crap together when it comes to our elections. So I've learned.
We've had drama over here too. Like prime ministers got kicked out and we didn't even get to vote for the next one that came in. So I think that's politics for you. You just got to do what they say.
Well, that's not a good way to go through life. That would never fly. That's why you're seeing all the angst over here, is because people are telling us what to do and we don't like that. We're like, no, we don't want to do that. All right, let's do this. Thank you very much for jumping on with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me as
always. And when's your competition? February?
February. I think it's the 6th, February 6th.
So are you already training, or is that going to start after the holidays?
No, I mean, we're still training now, but at least it's given us kind of like, I think there might be trail running in there. So now it's like, Renee, you need to run. Because I don't like running. So there's that little motivation now to go, okay, we've got this amount of time to train towards this. So yeah, still training, but it's a good goal.
Maybe we can come back on like a week or two before the event, and then after we'll see how you're doing.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not all banged up and
well, scars and being banged up makes for good memories, right?
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah. So, and maybe this shoulder, we'll go back, and maybe next time I talk with you, you'll have matching shoulders or something.
Yeah, they might actually both move the same way. So.
You just might have to do the whole interview like this. Yeah. I appreciate you coming on.
No, thanks for having me. It's always fun.
This was a blast. Go get a donut. Make some of those craisin things.
The craisin things. If only I could send them to you.
You can, but they may not taste the same.
When you bake, I can send you the recipe.
Yeah. No, I do have, because I live by myself, so yeah, I cook.
Yeah.
Send me the recipe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll make them. And I'll post a picture, and you can make a comment. I'll tag you on it.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
You send me the recipe. Thank you.
I'll chat to you soon.
Bye, Renee.
Bye.
See you, everybody.